Welcome to episode 51 of the Family Geekery podcast. I'm Danny.
I'm Amber.
And I'm Chris.
And today we're going to be talking about our favorite web-based games or browser games.
They're going to be our favorite ones.
The only ones that we know.
Okay.
The few that we know.
I just compiled a list of all the worst ones. Darn it. I misunderstood the assignment.
You made the assignment.
Oh, and I really misunderstood it. Yeah, we're going to be talking about early web games. So think back 10 years ago, before iPhones existed, before everybody had a gaming console in their pocket. Everybody couldn't wait to get home to their laptop or their computer so that they could log into their favorite game and play it right in a web browser. So before we talk about that, let's talk about this past week. Anything going on?
Yeah, I mean, we didn't do an update last week because we had our special guest. But in the last 2 weeks, I have been starting a couple new shows. I started watching the anime Neon Genesis Evangelion, which is pretty cool. I would recommend it to you guys. It's like pretty action, fun time stuff.
Is there a lot of flashing colors and screaming?
Maybe.
I mean, that's what I think of when I think of anime, like some crazy, like it's still image of a person with a sword going, ah! And then like...
it's like big robots.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and they pilot the robots to kill what they call angels, which are like, look more like demons. But yeah.
Cool.
I've
heard a lot of good things about that one.
Yeah, it's really good. And I'm like halfway done with it, and then they have 2 movies on Netflix, so I'm gonna watch those also. And another thing I started watching was Breaking Bad.
All right, finally.
Been a long time, and I finally cracked, and I finally broke bad.
I really enjoyed that show.
Really good. Yeah.
And I think one of the best things I ever saw was a quote, and I forget who it was, but it was Morgan Freeman or one of those, highly respected actors saying that Walter White's character arc throughout the course of that is the best of any type of recorded media ever. And once you get through all 6 seasons or whatever it is, I think you'll agree.
Mm. I saw a funny thing on Instagram. It must have been targeted. But it was like a meme about Breaking Bad from when it was a Facebook post from when it first was announced or whatever. And this person said, "Who the heck cast Bryan Cranston in a serious role, Lamau? He's a comic actor. He can't do such serious roles. The show will either get canceled or he'll be replaced." And I just think that's really funny because that did not happen.
Yep.
Cool. That's it for me.
What about you, Danny?
Well, in the past 2 weeks, the Attack on Titan event in Fortnite came out. So I grinded that out and I got Eren from Attack on Titan. Even though I never watched the show, I still got him in Fortnite. And it added, it's called ODM gear, basically like the thing they use to fly around in the show. So that's in Fortnite, so people can fly around on trees. It's kind of similar to like the Spider-Man webs and how that moves, but it's pretty fun. And these 2 anime movies came out. I haven't watched them yet, but they're romance movies, and it's called To Every You I've Loved Before, and the other one is called To Me, the One Who Loved You. And basically, whichever order you watch it in, it changes like the ending. So I'm probably going to watch that pretty soon because it seems interesting.
Yeah, I saw those and they looked pretty cool. And Danny, does Eren kind of smell like a baka?
I don't know. I can't smell them in the game.
Aw.
That went right over my head.
It was a TikTok.
It flew right over my head with some ODM gear, apparently.
TikTok. That's it from me.
Well, let's see. I started playing Dreamlight Valley.
Oh, yeah.
Hmm.
I started replaying Dreamlight Valley.
Yeah, I'm playing it. Your mother's playing it. She's playing it on Game Pass. I set her up on Xbox, and I've been playing it on Steam. I purchased it on Steam, and I've been playing it on the Steam Deck. And
That
it
doesn't
is.
seem fair. You gave her the free version, you bought yourself the money version? You're hoarding all the moonstones.
Shh! Don't
Oh,
you tell her.
Wait till I tell her about this.
Yeah.
Dad's got currency and you've got nothing.
Well, I bought her the season pass or whatever they call it.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, we're having fun with that. It's like the perfect game for a Steam Deck too. It plays well on it, and it's a good little couch game to play. What else? I started watching a show called Hello Tomorrow, and it's an Apple TV show. Hank Azaria's on it, but he's not the main star. But it's a really cool, like a retro future setting. You know, it looks like the 50s, but it's in the future when people are going to the moon. And it's all
Hmm.
about some salespeople who are selling houses on the moon to average people. But as you finally or quickly find out, it's apparently a scam. Like they're
Hmm.
selling nothing.
Okay.
So I haven't gotten to the end yet to see what happens to the scam if they get found out or not. But it's a good show. It's funny and it's got a neat concept. So
nice.
cool. So let's talk about some early web games. Cracking open some memories. Who wants to start off?
I can start.
All right, what you got?
Well, the first game that came to my head was a game called Pop Tropica. And basically, you were a little character that you could customize, and you would travel to these different worlds or like islands, and there'd be a series of quests on each island, and you could complete each island and get like a medal or something. Um, but it was really fun. We played it a lot.
Yeah. They had some really cool ones. Of course, I loved the Greek mythology island.
Hmm.
And they had a like Murder on the Orient Express one that was really cool. Because I love like historical figures. Um,
Did they end up getting branded content also?
yeah, they had like Diary of a Wimpy Kid and
Big
Big.
Nate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I
It,
think the guy who wrote Diary of a Wimpy Kid, Jeff Kinney, I think he's the one that made Pop Tropica.
oh.
I could be wrong.
Yeah, they had a superhero island, and I just remember those quests being hard. There's like a flying one where you had to beat the flying villain up the sky, and it was
Hmm.
difficult. We had a little cheat book that told us how to complete each island.
They're called hint books, not a cheat book.
Mm.
Yeah, but it only had, up until that certain date, and they kept
A
adding
cup date,
more
yeah.
islands. So we had to
That's
we
what
never bought a
YouTube's
second
for.
one. So we finished like the 12 islands that were in that book, and um, every time you completed an island, you would get like currency, like premium
Oh
currency,
yeah.
and you could also have like a premium membership to get the currency also. Um, but I remember having so many accounts on that game
Yeah.
and only having one with the premium membership, and I don't know which one it is. I don't know which one it was because I had already used all of my normal like logins for other things for like my other accounts. So the one that I like completed my first island on, I like got the membership and it was some completely random username and password.
Yep.
That's what you get for trying to hack the system.
Well, I mean,
Well,
I just
cool.
yeah, that was a good one.
Yeah, I remember watching you guys play that one. I never played it myself, but I remember the concept seemed really cool where you could unlock stuff and complete stuff. That's like that kind of scratches that itch of a completionist, Xbox Live achievement type mentality. Like I
Yeah.
gotta complete this, complete this, complete this.
Yeah, they've had quite a few updates on it since we started playing it. Like they have an iPad app now, and the whole
Mm-hmm.
thing's kind of looks different, but it's probably the bones are probably still the same.
Hmm, cool. What's next?
I can talk about one.
All right.
Probably maybe the first video game I've ever played, but maybe I'm lying. Webkins. I don't know if
Oh,
I played any video games before Webkins, but that one was like my first like obsession. Um, and for Christmas, um, our uncle got us he got me. I don't know if he got Danny a Webkins at this time because Danny was like still pretty young. But he got me a Webkins, and it was a Chihuahua, and I named him Jip after the American Girl dog Samantha's dog. And I remember all of this. This is how important Jip is to me. But we played Webkins a lot, and for like every single birthday and Christmas for the next like 4 years, there would always be like at least one Webkins. And so for those of you who are stupid and don't know what Webkins is, basically you get a stuffed animal and then you can log in the stuffed animal onto the game with a little code, and then you could like build a house for it, get a job, play arcade games, dress it up in cute clothes. Um, and it was really fun. It was such a good, um, kind of like a good reason to have stuffed animals,
Mm-hmm.
because they weren't like just stuffed animals. They were like they had like little personalities and stuff that you could like. Oh, they had favorite foods and favorite colors and stuff. And it made having a stuffed animal just come to life a lot more.
yeah, and every one that you purchased would extend your membership for a year, and then you would end up with that animal in your little Webkins world. So if you had
Mm-hmm.
a Chihuahua and a turtle, then both of them would be walking around in your house, and you could have a room for each one. But the mini
Mm-hmm.
games were freaking crazy.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
you could gamble, kind of. Like there were a couple of games that you could play only once per day, but they would like just give you free stuff. Um, and it was kind of like a slots machine wishing well, and then and then like a wheel of fortune kind of thing.
That was to win Ken's Cash, right? Is that what the currency was? Ken's
Yeah,
Cash?
sometimes it would give you money, but sometimes it would give you like actual like furniture, like a like
Yeah.
exclusive item to the Wheel of Wow. That's what it's called. I remember it. Um,
I remember a little while back I logged into my account to reminisce, and like of course we kept like our favorite ones, but we like gave away some of like the ones that we didn't really care about or whatever. And I
Whoa.
and I would just look at all the names because when you put the code into the game, you get to name them and have a little birth certificate. And this is me like probably early elementary school, and all the names are like Fluffy and Princess, and but my two favorites were Rory the lion and Ping the penguin. Those were my two favorites. But the other ones were like Spots, Fluffy,
But it was like
like that.
hard because they had restrictions on the name. I
Oh yeah.
don't think the same animal could be named the same thing on two different accounts. So
Mm.
two people couldn't have Dalmatians named Spots. Like one person would have to have Spots with a Z or something. And I remember I had a Cocker Spaniel and I wanted to name it like Cocky or something like that. But it was like, you can't do that. And I'm like, why not? Why can't I name it Cocky? And it's because it's a bad word.
Yeah, the lady at the adoption center, was she like a stork or something? I forget. But she was like a nurse or something at an adoption center, and she would be like, "No, that name's not gonna fly, dude."
No, you can't do that.
Yeah, I remember to keep the game going, you had to buy, Webkins or whatever. But after a couple of years of that being in existence, all the discount stores would have like cheap, like $3 Webkins buckets, and it'd all be the first gen ones that you already had. But we'd find one, even if you wanted it or not, just to get the code to log in to extend the account.
Mm-hmm.
And I even had an account. I think I got, was it a frog? I had a frog.
Yeah, and a raccoon, right?
And yeah, that's right, a frog and a raccoon. And I had like a heavy metal bedroom, like with an amp and guitars, and
nice.
And I think one of them had like a race car that you could get around in and stuff. And I had a huge farm, which I programmed like a script to like farm all day long.
Wait, what?
And I think you guys saw my account once. You're like, how'd you get 20,000 Kins cash? Don't worry about that.
With your Ford pumpkins on your roof.
Yeah. Why do you have a 47-bedroom house? Nothing to see here.
And it was a good game because there were all of these like horror stories, like made up horror stories about Webkins. Like I remember in elementary school around Halloween, people would be like, "Oh, you can't play Webkins on Halloween because the serial killer is going to come and kill your Webkins." And before you log off, you've got to put your Webkins in the bed, or else they'll wake up and die, or they'll die when you log on next. I'm like, this is wrong. Like, this is not accurate at all. But yeah, there were a lot of rumors like that going around at my school.
Crazy. All right, so those are some pretty big heavy hitters. I'm gonna throw in a very lightweight game. See if you remember this, and it's got a couple different names, but it's basically the same premise. It was either Canvas Rider or Free Rider. I think at some point it might have been called like Pencil Bike or something like that. And it's all like hand-drawn pencil sketch looking thing where you draw the road out, or you draw a track out and then hit go, and then the bike falls down on the track and it starts going, and you have to get it from point A to point B. And people would make like just amazing tracks and stuff. And there's one where you just create the road, and then there's one where you actually go on a pre-made track and you use your like right, left, up, down arrows to go through the thing on your bicycle. So that was a fun, like right in the web browser. I think it was like a Chrome extension that you could download. So that was always fun. And another thing that was real popular for at least my generation of gamers was the Facebook games.
Oh yeah, I thought as soon as you talked about farming and Webkins, I was like, oh, I know what's coming next.
I was never into the Farmville, but there was one called Farm Town, and I think it was a Farmville ripoff, but I think it was I liked it better.
What about Zombie Farms? You played that one?
That was
on the
iPod game.
iPod Touch. So I don't think that was...
really? That wasn't Facebook? I remember you playing it on the computer.
I think it was an iPod game.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that was iPod.
Oh.
But the Farm Town, and then there was like a Frontierville, and then there's a Car Town where you'd like have a car dealership or something. All those early Facebook games, those were good times.
Now there's the metaverse.
Yeah.
Maybe.
All right, Danny, what else you got?
I got one of my all-time favorites, Movie Star Planet. This game would have Amber and I on our laptops for hours because it just had a lot of different aspects to it. Like the main part of it was making movies, and it was actually pretty cool because it went frame by frame, and you could add like your avatar and a bunch of other avatars and have them move and pose and make text bubbles. It was like really creative ways to like make a movie, and it was like kid friendly and easy. And so basically the point was to make really good movies, and hopefully you'll get more than 5 views so you can make some money on them. But it was cool because you can customize your avatar. They had a lot of different customizations, and they had chat rooms where you can go talk to strangers because that's always good as a kid.
Yeah.
Okay, I had good friends. I had good friends on Movie Star Planet. I shout out to Disney Gal and Happy Days. They were like my
I don't
besties.
remember. Oh my
And
goodness.
okay, and get this, there was this whole Harry Potter group that I was friends with. So there was literally Harry Potter and like Albus Dumbledore, and like Bellatrix Lestrange. Like they were all like a friend group, and I somehow managed to infiltrate, and and I was just randomly friends with Harry Potter. But it was great, even though like me and Harry Potter never like talked or anything. He would always have all of the best clothes and stuff, so he would be in every single one of my movies because he was so popular.
Mm-hmm.
That's what you do. You be friends with the popular rich ones so that they can be versatile characters in your movies.
Yeah. And there's like clubs you could make and join, and you could have pets.
Oh yeah.
And we both had like a membership for a little bit because I would give you the cool stuff. But we totally didn't have multiple accounts to watch our own movies to make money. Totally did not do that.
I
But
remember finding your login sheet because you would use my computer in my office.
And you just have
And there's a
random
little piece
Have
of
a
paper,
list.
that says "Do not throw away," and it's got like 17 logins.
It was a good one.
That was a good one.
You could also watch YouTube on it.
Yeah, you could literally watch YouTube in this game.
That's crazy. I remember watching you guys play, and I was completely fine with you spending so much time because it was so creative. You had to like create those little movies and stuff, and plus
Yeah.
the whole hacking aspect. I was down with that too. I was so proud.
Learn from the best.
But remember that time that Danny, she made friends with. I think the screen name was "I'm not an old dude," and then like they wanted to meet. He wanted to meet her, or she wanted to meet her at the mall. So we drove her to the mall, and
What?
Did not happen.
you don't remember any of that?
No.
You remember "Not an old dude"?
Did
Danny
this
was
actually
like-
happen?
No.
I started playing in
You're
like
trying to
5th grade.
clickbait our podcast for clicks.
Danny almost got kidnapped.
Almost.
I was like, I think I was a smart kid. I was smart enough to not do that.
Yeah.
Cool.
You also didn't have any friends. Ayo! You weren't part of the Dumbledore army.
That's true. All my friends were my other accounts.
I thought you were going to say all my friends were in real life.
I
Gotcha.
tried to recruit all of my real life friends to play Movie Star Planet, and only like a couple of them did. It was kind of sad. Yeah.
Losers.
Right? All right.
What's next up?
I've got a quick game. You kind of reminded me of it when you were talking about quick games, but the little no internet dinosaur.
Oh yeah,
Oh, that's such a good one.
it's literally a browser game.
Yeah. But like on a serious note, Cool Math Games
Oh.
had a lot of little games in it, a lot of really cool ones like like Papa's Pizzeria and stuff like that.
Mhm.
But one game that was on there that I was like so surprised was on there were like the old Bloons games.
Oh, yeah.
And so, at school casually we would just be playing Bloons because it's on Cool Math Games, and Cool Math Games isn't banned. Well, it probably is now, but yeah. So I played quite a bit of like Bloons 2 and 3, I think, were the ones that were on the browser. And
Yeah, there's
that
a
was
couple
like,
different websites that would compile those games. Like PopCap was another one that would compile a bunch of games together. There was a couple other Big Fish, I think was one.
Hunda
But
math.
yeah, I remember the Cool Math
Is
one.
that what it's
was
called?
Hunda math. That was a good one.
Buddha Math. Oh my gosh.
That
I
one
was
had a
trying to
lot
remember
of
the other one.
simulator games.
Yeah. It had a game that was like a puzzle game. Grow Farm.
Grow
Grow
Farm.
Zoo, Grow School. Grow
Oh,
Island.
those
Grow
are the
Island.
good ones.
I thank you, Danny, for remembering that because I was trying so hard. I was like, I remember Cool Math. What was the other one? Because like my elementary school gifted program teacher was the one that was like, oh, here's a cool website to go to, and we wouldn't play the math games. We would play the Grow Island.
I mean, they were strategy games.
Yeah.
Use your
Oh my
brain.
gosh, thank you so much, Danny.
Hunda math. That was
Huda, not Hunda.
Huda? That was
Huda
Hunda.
Math. No.
I
Anyways,
remember those being
sorry.
some janky websites, though.
Ads everywhere.
Yeah.
No, I just loaded the
Big click your
website.
green button.
It looks exactly the same as it did in like 2008. Like
Yeah.
it has not changed. Anyways, now that my freak out is done, after this podcast, I'm gonna go play some Grow Island. See if I can beat it for once in my life.
So I had a favorite game that probably showed up on those websites. I don't know if you ever played it before, but it was Cursed Treasure. And it was basically a tower defense game. But you were the bad guys, like the
Oh.
monsters or whatever. And the good guys, like knights and archers and wizards and stuff, were coming to get your treasure, and you were trying to keep them from stealing the gems, because they'd walk through the maze, get the gems, and then they'd try to walk out, and your towers would have to stop them from doing that. And that game always showed up on all those sketchy websites that had a bazillion games on them, but they eventually found their way to the iPad. So as soon as it did, I think I spent the $2.99 on Cursed Treasure. But they haven't had like an official sequel, which I was always disappointed with. Just give me some more maps. It was a fun game. All right, what else you got, Danny?
I think the last one I have is Club Penguin. I don't remember too much of Club Penguin, but I know it was one of those like chat room kind of games. I just knew I could choose the color of my penguin, and then you could have like a pet, and I think there was games and stuff.
Yeah.
Owned by Disney.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
Oh. And then they shut it down.
Right.
Yep. You got another one, Amber?
Yeah. I just remembered another one. Water Girl or Fireboy and Water Girl also was on a lot of those like cool math things. But that one was cool. It was like multiplayer, so you like sit with your friend on your laptop, and one of you uses WASD and the other one uses the arrow keys, and you have to go do puzzle solving and get in the correct doors. It was pretty fun. I liked that one a lot, and they made a lot of those. Like there were like 4 or 5 sequels probably.
Sometimes it ruins your friendship if they keep jumping into the poison water.
Yeah, because
They're
Water
bad.
Girl could walk in the blue water, or I guess the water, and Fireboy could walk in the fire. But if either of them went in the other one, you would die.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so I'm going to throw out one that I'm surprised nobody said yet, and that's Cookie Clicker.
Oh.
The original Cookie Clicker was all web-based. Of course, it's everywhere now, but even on Steam. But the original one was right in the browser, and as long as you kept the same browser, it would be persistent and save it. But then you could, download a code or something like that, or a text string, and email it to yourself and open it up on another computer and continue on. But that's a classic for sure.
Yeah, definitely.
Pretty much a genre-defining game. Idle tapper clicker game.
Yeah, definitely. I remember playing that in my Minecraft days in middle school. think that's when that one became popular.
Yeah.
Which leads me to ask you guys, did any of you have Minecraft on your list?
Oh.
I was thinking it because in middle school, before we had before we had like real Minecraft accounts, and also after we had real Minecraft accounts, but like we were at school and we'd be sitting in the gifted class. We only did this, it was just us gifted kids that loved Minecraft to death. We would all join in Minecraft on the same like LAN server, but it was like some random free Minecraft version on some random website. And then would just open up right there. You play Minecraft. It was mostly us just hitting each other the entire time. Because like you couldn't save any progress, or there was really no point of doing anything special. But yeah, I do remember that being in the browser.
I remember, and it had to be early 2000s, maybe even 2004 or something like that, finding this game, and it was literally about 1/4 the size of the screen, as a
Yeah.
window inside the web screen. And there was not a whole lot you could do. You could chop down trees, you could dig, craft a couple different things. And it said, Minecraft version 0.04 beta or something like that. So you think, okay, it's a beta game. They're not going to, maybe they'll release it in a couple months when it's done and it'll be, all finished. And I remember like 10 years later playing it and it's still like 0.96 beta. Like, when is this thing going to finally come out? And then Microsoft buys them and they're like, okay, version 1. Now everybody's a billionaire. We can release a game now for real. But yeah, it was just a tiny little game that you could play in the browser, and it was all
Wow.
Java based, which is why you guys
That
knew it
makes
as
sense.
Java edition versus whatever came out on the
Bedrock.
the Bedrock edition.
I
That
just
was definitely a game in the browser.
I just remember it might have been one of the later beta versions, but where you had to craft stuff, and it wasn't like the Xbox version where it was pre-made like crafting recipes. You actually had to know the crafting recipes. I was playing and I'd be like, I don't know how to make this. I'd run over to Amber and be like, Amber, how do I make a pickaxe?
I told you 7 times already.
They took all the fun out of it though when they added the recipe book on Java edition.
Oh yeah, they
Like,
did.
now you have which it's helpful, but like I loved having to go and look at the wiki and be like, oh, okay, this is how you built this item.
Mm-hmm.
We would watch some of the early YouTubers playing Minecraft, and it was for someone who could never remember all that stuff, and I preferred to play with the recipe book.
Mm-hmm.
Watching those people, I don't know, was it Dads Are Funny? Was one that we watched.
Yeah.
Watching those people play and just grab stone, draw something, grab wood, draw something in that little 3x3 square.
Mm-hmm.
It was like mind blowing how effortless it was for them just to drag their designs on there, and there's a pickaxe, or there's a bow, or there's a boat.
I will say Minecraft was educational because it helped me with my multiplication tables of 4.
Yeah.
4, 8, 16, 32. Like,
yeah, I know my
64
64s now.
32.
Powers of 2. Cool. You guys got anything else?
I don't think so.
Not for me.
I added like 4 things other than what I came prepared with also. So
All right, so we're going to leave everybody with one last game, and it's not an old web-based game. It's probably one of the newest web-based games that actually went viral, and I think it kind of hit everybody at the right time, during that thing that happened over the last couple of years. That crazy thing that kept us all away from each other. But one thing that brought us all back together was a little game in the browser called...
I'm scared. What is it?
Are you expecting us to know?
Kahoot.
I'm leaving a little blank space for anticipation and or you guys having an aha moment and saying Wordle.
Oh, yeah.
Right? It wasn't an iPhone app until it was, just a website that someone created and then got bought by the New York Times.
Yeah.
It went from having some weird, obscure website to New York Times / Wordle or something. But yeah, it was a great game, simple in nature, simple to throw on a screen. And it was, fun little game for a lot of people to share and brag about. I remember seeing, like on social media, seeing all the colored green boxes and stuff for about a month before I understood, before I bothered even looking into what is this crap. And then once I started playing it, I was like, oh yeah, I got to post my two guess score.
Well, I got it in the first try one time because I realized that my name is a noun, a 5-letter noun. So I, for months, started every single day with Amber. And then eventually, the Wordle was Amber. And it was a pretty epic moment. And I literally, if I forgot to do it one day, I would go onto the computer and I would be like, previous Wordle answers, just to see that it wasn't Amber, because I was fully prepared to like set my clock back and get it so I could get the screenshot.
Nice.
And now it's my lock
moment.
screen.
She was so proud of it. It's her lock screen.
Yeah.
Not everybody can have a lock screen with a Wordle.
Nope. With their name as the Wordle? Nuh-uh.
Chris is a noun.
I don't know. I don't think so.
Just a proper noun.
Yeah.
I'm proper. You're improper.
Unfortunately, the hurdle is going away.
Really?
I guess, yeah, Spotify bought it, and now they're just like,
Bro.
May 5th is the last day that Wordle is going to be around.
Is it going to be a Star Wars song? Oh, wait, that's May 4th. May 4th better be like a Star Wars song.
Yeah. So, I don't know why Spotify was just like, okay, we bought this, and now I guess nobody comes to our website. Goodbye.
That's why we can't have good things. All right, well, I think that's going to wrap it up for this fun little episode, this little stroll down memory lane again. It's always fun to remember some old stuff that we used to like to do.
Yeah.
So
I have to go feed my Webkins. It's been
go feed your Webkins. Go check out the YouTube channel. If you didn't listen to last week's episode or view last week's episode, because it was a video episode that you can check out on YouTube, then go check that out because it was an awesome interview with my good friend Brian Horton, and he talks all about his career in the video game industry. Very inspiring. So go check that out. And other than that, thanks as always for watching. And until next time, peace out and geek out.
And add me on Movie Star Planet. Make me some money.
Thank you for listening to the Family Geekery podcast. For more information, visit www.familygeekery.com. Don't forget to subscribe at your favorite podcast provider. And until next time, peace out and geek out.